are you doing? Alright, boys and girls. Today we're gonna talk about this guy. Of course, the title is in Brazilian, but you can't even have anything written here. Just you can recognize because of the image, the head, the mustache, and the cane. See? It's the only one who could be, it's Chales Chaplin. At first, when I saw this book at the bookstore, I said, that's nice, Chales Chaplin, very important to world culture, all these things. But I'm not very into movies, like I like to see some movies here and there, love documentaries and all this shit, but not very into fiction and all these things. But then I got a click in my head that say, hey, you dumb. It's Chales Chaplin. We're not talking about movies and cinema. We're talking about something broader, wider. And I couldn't be more precise. Like, of course, he tells a lot about his beginnings as a kind of actor, working with groups that were part theater, part circus in England, because he's from England. That's another thing I didn't know. I was sure he was American, North American, but actually he's from England. And then he made two great moves in his life. He made two great changes in his life when he went to the United States and started to work with movies. And it's quite interesting, this book, because it shows the development of many characters, mainly here in Brazil we call him Carlitos. It's the vagabond. It's this image. This image is from Carlitos. This vagabond. And then the script of the movies, they just happen at the moment. He got one idea and put together with another idea and get a concept and all these things. And it's like a hell of work, but it's great when you have guys like Chaplin, dedicate his life to something very deep. And it's a funny story about it's because before I bought this book, I was preparing some documents and all these things in a public service. It's not public anymore, it's private, but anyway. And then people are waiting, they get the numbers, whatever, and the television was on, and there was a movie, a Chales Chaplin movie. I don't remember the name now, but I put the link below. And it's the scene is amazing. It's because he's a waiter. It's Carlitos, he's the vagabond. He's a waiter, and he tries to get a plate to the customer. But when he goes to give the plate, these things, people start to dance in the dance hall, and he get grabbed in the middle of the dance. And it's when he get really close to give the plate to the guy, he was caught up again by the dancers. And then this scene is where it happened, and everyone who were waiting for the document, they were laughing. So times has passed, decades, and it's still funny. And another thing good about Chaplin is because his movies has these doubles, I could say, way of affecting people because they laugh, but they cry too. Because in some situations they are laughable, but you start to think about the real thing of the situation and you just see that it's not something that funny and then you start to cry, you know. And just the geniuses can do like that, like Chaplin. Another great thing about the book, you can see there's many pictures in here, you know. It's because he shows he he talks about his meetings with famous and important people at the time. You know, luminaries such as Eisenstein, Winston Churchill, Mahatma Gandhi. You know, so it's quite fun to see him deal with these people because he had a very poor childhood. You know, and actually that's a really interesting thing. Normally, when this kind of artists had poor childhoods, they can't stop working even when they get a good money, you know, because they think all the time, oh no, I no one ever get back to the place I was before, you know. So it's quite great book. It also he also talks about the kind of freedom that artists must have in contrast to management and all these things because he's his own manager sometimes. You know, he had some people to help with finances, but he decides what to do with ideas, money, and all these things. And this is the guy I totally recommend. Mr. Chales Chaplin.